America. And this morning, back home, President Trump wrapping up his trip overseas, calling it a success.
I think we hit a home run.
But facing mounting challenges at home as son-in-law and top advisor Jared Kushner comes under FBI scrutiny over the Russia investigation. And fired FBI Director James Comey waiting in the wings to give his side of the story.
Chaos at the terminal. British Airways trying to bounce back from this. A day full of cancellations and frustrated passengers.
None of the staff know what's going on.
Endless lines and an ocean of suitcases. What caused it all, and can the airline recover from this global disruption this morning?
Caught on camera, water slide accident. A boy thrown from a slide, and on the park's opening day, that slide now shut down as park officials investigate. How the boy's doing this morning.
And shark attack. A great white setting sights on a kayaker.
I thought he just got knocked out of his kayak by a shark.
A frantic couple capturing the drama as the shark moves in. What happened next, and what to know as millions of us hit the beaches this holiday weekend.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Yes, exactly. And good Sunday morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Rob Marciano's at the Indy 500. We're going to check in with him in just a little bit. But you're looking live at the White House right now. The president is now back home in D.C. after his whirlwind 8-day overseas trip, his first since taking office.
We've got a shot of the president and first lady arriving home overnight. The president called his first foreign trip a home run, but he is returning to face some fastballs on many fronts.
None faster, however, than the Russia investigation. Questions continuing to mount. The newly appointed special counsel, Robert Mueller, is now at work in his D.C. office. Overnight, sources telling ABC News Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas that Mueller, known as a dogged lawman, is already putting in long hours.
Those sources also say Mueller is going to want to talk to every member of Team Trump who communicated with the Russians during the campaign and during the transition. That will almost certainly include Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner, who, according to recent reports, allegedly tried to set up a back-channel communication with Russian officials.
We do have team coverage this morning as the president considers a staff shakeup. Martha Raddatz is standing by in D.C., but we're going to start with ABC's David Wright, who's at the White House for us this morning. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Paula. Good morning, Dan. You know, the president is riding high from that big foreign trip, but as he arrives back here at home, he's going to face a bit of a reality check. The drumbeat of news about the Russia investigation has only gotten more intense since he's been gone, and now his closest advisor, Jared Kushner, is likely to face some questions. The president is just back from a trip he scores as an unqualified success.
I think we hit a home run no matter where we are.
Now that he's back, he has some tough questions to face. The FBI wants to know why Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, met in December with the Russian ambassador and retired Lieutenant General Mike Flynn. Sources familiar with the meetings tell ABC News that Kushner wanted to open a back channel on the U.S. response to Syria and other policy matters. But Kushner's contact with the Russians raised eyebrows because it came right after U.S. intelligence agencies accused Russia of meddling in the November election.
What manner of ignorance, chaos, hubris, suspicion, contempt would you have to think that doing this with the Russian ambassador was a good or an appropriate idea?
Law enforcement and intelligence sources tell ABC News the FBI wants to know whether his reaching out to the Russians was the result of inexperience or something more. That said, sources familiar with the Russia investigation say Kushner is not a target, but they do hope he can provide some insights. Trump's inner circle continues to dismiss the Russia investigation as a witch hunt. The president's son, Eric, was on Fox News last night.
I think they're going so extreme in so many cases. I think they're losing a lot of credibility, and I think that's really resonating with Americans.
Just a few days ago, Eric and his elder brother, Don Jr., who now run the Trump family businesses, met with GOP leaders for a 2-hour strategy session. Meanwhile, the White House now has some breathing room to reset the agenda. The House and Senate not in session this week, so it'll be some time before fired FBI Director James Comey gives his side of the story. The White House is also hoping to build on the momentum from the foreign trip. Among other things, the White House is hinting that the U.S. may withdraw from the Paris Treaty on Climate Change. After all, despite lots of pressure from the Pope and many others on this foreign trip to stay in. Dan and Paula?
And the president said he may make a decision on that in the coming week. David, thank you. Let's bring in now ABC News Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz, who's also in Washington, where she's going to be hosting This Week later this morning. Martha, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I want to talk about Pierre Thomas and his email to us overnight. He's the ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent, and I'm quoting overnight from his email. Law enforcement and intelligence officials are perplexed that a top advisor to the president-elect was looking to secretly communicate with Russia just months after the U.S. intelligence community said that Russia was responsible for trying to meddle in the election. So you've covered foreign affairs for years. Can you think of a reason why an incoming official would want to set up this kind of back channel?
Well, I can imagine a situation where someone would set up a back channel, but not someone who's not in government, not someone who did not have a security clearance, and not speaking to the Russians, who, as David Wright just said, were accused by all our intelligence agencies of meddling in our election. So why you would want a back channel then, I do not know. I know sources from the White House are saying they wanted to talk about Syria. The other thing here, Dan and Paula, is those conversations that Kislyak had with the Russians were the conversations that were monitored. He had to know those were monitored. Jared Kushner had not yet set up a back channel, so you would think that he would know that Kislyak would go right to Russian officials and talk about what he wanted to do. So I don't have an explanation for this, but I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it.
That's why some people are skeptical as to that reporting, too. Martha, so there are reports of possible shakeups with top aides, including lawyers to vet President Trump's tweets. Is this the president admitting that he needs to do things better?
We'll certainly see what happens in the coming weeks, but lots of talk about a shakeup with his press and communications office. Obviously, his numbers are not great. His approval rating is not great. I think the president is concerned about getting the message out that he wants to get out. And of course, the press shop and the communications people were concerned about those tweets, but it's especially interesting if they have lawyers now looking at those tweets. And that certainly has to have something to do with the investigation right now.
President Trump called his first foreign trip a home run, as we reported. In your view, how did he do?
Well, as a reporter, I'm going to say right now, he had no press briefing. So from the view of the reporters, that was a pretty tough trip for them to try to get the president to talk anytime they could. But in the Mideast, I would say he was very successful. He reached out in Saudi Arabia. He reached out to those Muslim leaders. In NATO, a little bit of a different story. I think you saw a lot of grumpy NATO allies not really wanting to be lectured at by President Trump.
Martha, you always hit a home run for us. Just wanted to let you know. Thanks for your analysis. And we know you have a busy show, so we're going to let you go. Martha has a busy show coming up this morning. She's going to go one-on-one with Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly about the terror threat after the Manchester bombing. Plus, House Intelligence Committee ranking member Congressman Adam Schiff discusses the latest on the Russia investigation. That's all coming up on This Week right here on ABC with Martha. Look forward to that.
We are going to move on now, though, to another developing story this morning. British Airways is trying to get back on track after a global computer outage canceled hundreds of flights, stranding thousands of passengers.
Now, the airline faced a major meltdown over the last 24 hours. We're learning exactly what caused it. And ABC's Matt Gutman is at Heathrow Airport for us this morning. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Paul. I just got back from Terminal 5, and one police officer described it as absolute bedlam inside. Now, we are seeing BA flights take off, like that one right behind me. Still, it remains so chaotic here that when I called the airline, they said they still couldn't tell me how many passengers and how many flights have been affected. This morning, one of the world's mightiest airlines brought to its knees.
Bear with us, please.
Over 800 flights disrupted, according to FlightAware. The ripple effect stranding passengers as far away as Los Angeles.
We just checked for 17 miles out of town with the hotels, and there's nothing.
So folks bedded down on chairs and on the floor of the terminal. The airline blaming it on a massive IT system failure caused by a power outage.
It was complete pandemonium. This was way beyond anything that I've ever experienced.
Travelers herded into lines, stretching far and going nowhere.
None of the staff know what's going on. And they said, oh, I don't know, our phones aren't even working, so we haven't been told anything.
With monitors on the fritz, cancellations scribbled on whiteboards. Those who made it to their planes regretted it. Jets idling for hours with hundreds marooned on the tarmac, babies screaming as people milled in the aisles, only to be sent back to that terminal. We caught up with that passenger, Harriet Mackey.
There's literally no information getting down to the staff.
We saw the chaos unfold firsthand.
And you're evacuating the building. A few thousand in there? Sorry, what's happening? There are a few thousand people still inside. How are you going to get them out of there? The police.
This morning, the painful task of sorting through mounds of luggage left by passengers. BA is apologizing for the system failure, one that ABC's aviation consultant Steve Ganyard believes was avoidable.
This just shows a failure of British Airways to invest in appropriate infrastructure, and especially on information technology.
Now, the airline says it'll accommodate passengers and give them full refunds, but analysts like Steve Ganyard are calling this an epic fail for British Airlines, one that'll cost them tens of millions of dollars and a lot of bad PR. But more disturbingly, it shows how vulnerable airlines like this that haven't updated their computer systems are to hackers and cyber attack. Dan and Paula.
A lot to worry about, a lot to be frustrated about. Matt, thank you. We're going to turn now to an accident at a brand new water park, and it was caught on camera.
Just 90 minutes after this park opened, a boy was tossed off this water slide and onto the concrete right there. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez joins us from our LA bureau with more on the scary details and an update on that boy's condition. Good morning, Marcy.
Good morning, Paula and Dan. Incredibly, that boy was able to walk away from this. He was checked out by doctors and is back at home this morning after what was no doubt the scare of his life. Terrifying moments on opening day of this water park in California. Watch as this 10-year-old boy plunges down this slide before he tumbles off onto the concrete. The open-air 3-story slide called the Emerald Plunge is part of the Bay Area's brand new $43 million water park called the Wave. The attraction featuring 2 tracks with 80-degree drops.
I would be worried about those 2 slides because they are really steep.
Here you see the boy shooting down the green slide, and as he gets near the bottom, he flies up over the edge and rolls onto the ground. Park operators rush to help the boy.
He seemed to be shook, but seemed to be okay, came right up. And immediately went into the first aid room and was assessed by staff.
The child suffered some bad scrapes and was briefly treated at a nearby hospital before being released. This latest slide incident comes on the heels of a $20 million settlement awarded to the family of 10-year-old Caleb Schwab. Schwab was killed after going down the world's tallest water slide at a Kansas water park last summer.
It's an accident, but there's an accounting because someone was negligent.
And here in California, operators of that city-owned water park say the Emerald Plunge went through extensive testing and was properly permitted. But this morning, those slides are closed as officials look into how to keep a scare like this from happening again. Dan and Paula.
Wow, scare is an understatement. It's hard to believe that boy just walked away and is okay now. Thanks, Marcy, for that reporting. We want to send things over to Ron Claiborne. Ron.
Hey, Paula.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
How
and
are
Dan.
you?
Good morning. Morning, Adrian. Good morning, everyone. We're going to begin with new details about that deadly attack on a bus full of Coptic Christians in Egypt that happened on Friday. Our ABC station in Chicago, WLS, reporting that 8 of the 29 people killed were from one family living in Illinois. WLS reporting that Mohsen Marcos, a U.S. citizen, was one of those fatalities. His wife was injured and is recovering at an Egyptian hospital. The family is said to have been in Egypt to visit relatives, but the bus was attacked on its way to a monastery. In England, police have released the first images of the Manchester concert bomber from the night of that attack. The pictures show Salman Abedi shortly before he blew up a suicide bomb, killing 22 people just after an Ariana Grande concert. A newly released timeline clocking the first call to police at 10:33 p.m. last Monday, the first of 240 calls that came in the first hour after that attack. And in Portland, Oregon, the FBI is investigating whether hate crime charges will be filed against Jeremy Christian. He's the man accused of stabbing to death 2 Good Samaritans on a commuter train Friday afternoon. Christian allegedly went on a hate-filled tirade targeting 2 young women, one who was wearing a hijab, and then turned on 2 men who intervened to help them. Police say Christian is known to them for his extremist views. In California, Fresno police have identified the victims of a deadly boating accident in Pine Flat Lake as the parents of Uber CEO and co-founder Travis Kalanick. Police say that Bonnie Kalanick was found dead after the boat that she and her husband were on hit a rock and sank in that lake. Donald Kalanick was airlifted to a nearby hospital. He's listed in serious condition. And former Vice President Joe Biden addressing the class of 2017 at Cornell University on Saturday, delivering this year's commencement address. Biden telling the audience to turn their anger into resolve and get involved. Later, he reached for a cone of Big Red, White, and Biden ice cream, a flavor created in his honor by the school, the Big Red, of course, and Cornell Dairy. And finally, a New Jersey high school softball player pitched a perfect game. Didn't even realize what was happening until the seventh and final inning. Cedar Grove sophomore Mia Faeta struck out, check this out, talk about a perfect game, all 21 batters she faced during a playoff game on Friday as her team won 4-0. Faeta is on a streak. Earlier this month, she struck out all 15 batters she faced in a 5-inning game. That's pretty amazing.
We could use her on the ABC News softball team.
Yes.
We have a
Really.
softball team?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We do?
this summer.
Really?
Yep, Central Park.
Fast pitch?
I don't know about that. I would doubt it.
Apparently nobody invited Paula.
No, I played high school softball, but
We should have. I haven't been invited either, just for the record. I just heard about it in the hallway. All right, time for the weather, and let's get it out to Rob Marciano, who's in Indianapolis, where they're revving up for the Indy 500. Hey, man.
Hey, guys, and a happy race day. It is time for the 101st running of the Indy 500. 300,000 people will be filing into this racetrack as 33 drivers will line up on the grid next to me and do 200 laps around this 2.5-mile oval. It's going to be quite a spectacle. Of course, they're hoping that the rain holds off. Last night, it stayed mostly to our south, but it really got rough. Check out some of this video across southern Illinois. Wind-driven rain, some winds gusting over 60 miles an hour, doing some damage there, ripping off the top of that garbage container, and this tree being taken down as well. We had hail the size of softballs just outside of Kansas City, and over 200 damaging wind reports. Memphis getting hit really hard with power out there. So the storms right now continue to press off to the east, and we hope they stay that way. Maybe a late day shower, late last, but I think most of the race should be dry here for the Indy 500. That's a quick check on what's going on nationally. It is time now for your local forecast.
Tracking some showers and thunderstorms in the D.C. area. It looks like a mostly dry day, though. Mostly cloudy skies. Then by this evening and into tonight, some heavier rainfall, which could produce some ponding on roadways under a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms later today. But as we go through the Memorial Day holiday, things are looking up from here. Cloud cover to start, but then an increase in sunshine by the afternoon. Those daytime highs in the low 80s. Looks like a great pool day coming up.
More weather coming up in the next half an hour, plus my ride along with the Mario Andretti. I clearly survived a thrill of a lifetime going nearly 200 miles an hour. It was incredible. We'll show you that in just a little bit.
You feeling okay after that ride?
He's fine.
He's fine.
I feel great. I want to do it again.
I love it. I love it. This is why we send Rob out to do this stuff. Thank you, Rob. We'll see you coming up in the next half hour. The rock world has lost a bona fide legend. I was really sad when I heard about this yesterday. Greg Allman, the founding member of the Allman Brothers.
Ron has the story on how the Southern rock pioneer is being remembered this morning.
Yeah, I was a huge Allman Brothers fan. And Greg Allman was the heart and soul of this hard-driving, high-energy band that bore his name and that of his late brother Dwayne for nearly, imagine this, half a century.
But back home you'll always run to sweet Melissa.
Greg Allman was equal parts soulful balladeer and rock star. As the lead singer for the Allman Brothers, they crafted music richly infused with rock, blues, and jazz. Greg and his older brother Dwayne on lead guitar formed the group in 1969. What followed were a string of hits, including this classic. But just 2 years later, a motorcycle crash claimed the life of brother Dwayne. Greg keeping the band together and soldiering on, eventually recording one of their biggest hits.
You could take a melody of a song and make it feel really powerful and really earnest, and I think could connect with his listeners in that way.
Greg Allman drawing attention off the stage, too, marrying Cher in 1975. The marriage, though, was tumultuous, eventually leading to divorce. Greg also had his demons, struggling with drug and alcohol abuse.